And we're on. Hey. Hi, how are you guys? This is the Land of Enlightenment podcast. Welcome. And the live TV show. It's not just a podcast, but welcome. We're recording this and releasing it later on if you're listening. But we're also live on Twitch. So if you're listening and want to watch live, Thursdays at 5 p.m., right? On Twitch, Inertia TV. And yeah, man. Welcome to our awesome guests.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself? You know yourself the best.
That's true, I do.
So
My name is Sara.
Hi, Sara.
Do I need to say anything else?
Yeah. What do you do, Sara? Where are you from? What do you like? What's your favorite color?
Oh, wow. Big questions. Okay.
Big ones.
So I'm from South Bend, Indiana. Go Irish. And I'm currently living in Albuquerque, New Mexico for grad school. And that is what I do. I'm a PhD student in genetics, human genetics. Mm-hmm. And my favorite color is orange. How's that?
Orange. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, I was looking it up somewhat recently. Apparently, it says a lot of like really bad things about me. Like no one likes the color orange. So.
Well, that's why I think it's very unique.
Yeah.
What does it say about you?
Something like chaos and like disturbed personality. I don't know.
Are you a disturbed personality?
I never thought I was until I read this article.
Okay. Talking about like things like that. What's your sign?
Oh, I'm a Virgo, obviously.
A Virgo, so obviously.
Obviously. The most Virgo of all the Virgos.
Your birthday's coming up.
Yes.
When is it?
August 27th.
27, huh? How old are you turning?
I will be 29.
Oh, we were born 11 days apart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
88, represent.
Represent. What up? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's the last year of our 20s.
Yeah, let's make the most of it.
Well, what are you going to do?
I am going to be in Paris on my birthday, actually.
Oh, that's right. You're going on a big trip.
Yeah, I'm going on a big trip.
Tell me all about that. Where are you going?
I'm going so many places. I'm going to Paris, then from Paris to the Netherlands, where I'm giving a talk, and then Netherlands back to Paris, Paris to Corsica, Corsica to Paris, Paris to Montenegro, and then back to Chicago, and then back to Albuquerque.
Back to Chicago from Montenegro?
Well, through Paris, but basically, yeah.
Paris is home base.
Paris is home base.
And where's Corsica?
Corsica.
I'm proud of my geography typically, but.
Well, I actually didn't know much about it either. It's technically part of France, or like owned by. What do you call it? Oh, not owned by.
No.
Territory. Governed by.
A territory.
Territory of France. It's an island, just north of Sardinia. So.
It's in the Mediterranean.
It's in the Mediterranean, or the Tyrrhenian Sea, however that's pronounced.
Mm.
And
Tyrrhenian sounds Game of Thrones.
I know, that's kind of why I picked it.
Is it? Nice.
Part of the reason. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But it's supposedly this like totally wild island that has like a really big mafia presence, and like there's
like
no
French mafia or like old Italian mafia.
Well, they're Corsican mafia, so they're like, they speak their own language, Corsican. That's like unintelligible by French speakers or Italian speakers.
So it's not
they,
Latin
operate
based.
in that. I actually have no idea. I don't know enough about language.
Okay.
You would know better.
I would, yeah, but I didn't even know it was a place until you just said it.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it's its own language, and it's mostly used by the mafiosa, mafia, and yeah, I'm going there.
That's pretty cool. Are you excited about all that?
I'm so pumped. I can't wait.
Europe's rad.
Yeah.
Europe's a fun time. You've been before, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lived abroad for a while.
Really?
Yes, I lived in London.
Ooh,
Yes.
London girl.
Yes.
What were you doing in London?
I studied abroad at University College London.
Okay, that's pretty cool. In London?
In London.
That sounds like a good time. How old were you when you did that?
21.
21.
Yep.
21. So long ago.
So long ago.
Oh, I mean, it seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But you couldn't pay me to be 21 again.
No, definitely not.
Just emotionally.
I would take my 21-year-old body, but like everything else, you could leave it.
Okay, so speaking of at 21, when did I meet you? So we were talking about this a little bit before. I remember the place.
Right.
We were in Edo, East Downtown, at a friend of mine's place. You were with an ex-boyfriend at the time.
Oh God,
and
yes.
I met you through him.
Yes, you did.
But how old were we at the time?
I was 23.
23. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I was 23 too. We're 11 days apart.
Because we're
practically twins. Can you tell? Okay, so that was back then. So why do you cringe when you think about that ex? I mean, I know why.
You know why.
I know why, but let's tell our audience. I mean, he was a character and a half. Let's put him that way.
So, yeah.
And we don't have to say names.
We don't have to say names.
Yeah.
I was fresh-faced on the Albuquerque scene. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know where I was supposed to go or do or, like, who were the cool people.
Mm-hmm.
And I met this one guy who was just relentless in wanting to date me.
Relentless how?
Like, I said no probably, like, a dozen times. And then finally I was like, well, he must really like me if he just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So we dated for almost a year.
Okay.
And
how did you meet?
How did we meet? I met him on St. Patrick's Day, I think. My first St. Patrick's Day in Albuquerque.
Okay.
And my sister was in town, and and he wanted to meet up with me and my sister, and I was like, no, I'm like hanging out with my sister, I don't want to meet up with you. And he was like, I can't believe you won't meet up with me on St. Patrick's Day, like you're awful, you're such a terrible person. And then the next day was like, so do you want to be my girlfriend or not?
That sounds exactly like his personality.
Yep. That's telling if anything is.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, he was just truly an awful human being, but
He was just mean to you and a bad person.
He wasn't ever mean to me. He was mean to literally everyone else.
Yeah, I got some of that sometimes too.
He was extremely jealous, extremely like possessive and controlling, but like otherwise treated me well. I don't know if whatever. Yeah.
Well, whatever. Here's the kicker is everyone took your side.
I know.
At the end of that. I mean, and by everyone, I mean probably the whole entire city of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And that's not, I mean, so it's like another cool thing. In 2013, we realized it was you got voted or you got placed or nominated on what list was it again?
Albuquerque Hot Singles, no big deal.
Albuquerque Hot Singles. So you were at the cover of the magazine too.
I was the cover of the magazine, and at least as of 2013, I haven't followed the singles post my run. But I went for the most money anyone had ever gone for in the auction. So, I mean, not to, like, say that means anything, but, like, it probably means a little something.
I think it means a lot of something. And, yeah. But, so, can I ask how much it was?
I believe it was, like, $900.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
It was bought and sold like cattle.
Right. It goes to charity, right?
It goes to charity, yeah.
So, it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
Was it like a date that you had to go on?
It was a date, yeah. So, the guy who purchased me, he was like truly one of the most lovely people I've ever met, and it was not creepy. It wasn't like a weird thing. He was like, I actually care about this charity, and you seem really awesome, and like
cool.
it would be nice to just have dinner and like talking and like hang out.
And that was that.
And it was great. We had like a 4-hour date. We talked about everything. He's an engineer. I think he works at Sandia.
Cool.
Yeah, it was like a great thing. But ironically, the day I was auctioned, just prior to that, I had actually started dating someone. So I was technically not single when I was being auctioned off.
Okay, but when the whole shoot for the magazine went down,
I was single then. Yes.
Yeah, and it was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was a big deal. I mean, everyone was just like, yes.
I know, it's a real big deal.
Good.
I don't know who nominated me. That was actually the creepiest thing, because I'm like fairly certain it was my ex who nominated me, which I don't. Anyway, it was weird.
No, I worked for a competing magazine at the time, and the word on the street was that the magazine itself had issues with what's his face.
I believe that.
And it was like, we're gonna nominate Sara, and somehow, he had a thing. He made enemies.
Oh yeah, he made
especially
enemies.
in media.
Yeah, the guy was a real d-bag, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, you're here now,
yes,
and you win.
Yes, on bigger, better things.
There is the one thing you can win is the breakup, people.
Oh, and I won that one.
Oh, you won the shit out of it, man.
I won that one big time.
Yeah, how does that make you feel? Is your ego pretty big?
Oh, it's so big right now. Yeah, just like I mean, I don't know if I'll ever recover from that joy of winning the breakup. But no, I literally haven't thought a second about it since.
Okay, well, you've gone on and dated and had your heart broken and other stuff since, right? Which has kind of led you down a really interesting path.
Yes. That is true.
Which is really cool, because we were talking about how we had both at one point gone through I was a year. I assumed it was a year for you too. Was yours a year of like celibacy?
Yes.
Can I say it?
Yes, you could say it.
Okay, you seem like you want to cringe.
No, I mean it's like moderately cringeworthy. But yeah, I took a year off from those things and
From those things being all of those things.
all of the things. And the only way I can describe it is, well, yeah, so I had gone through a really traumatic breakup that I did not win. And it was truly heartbreaking and really sad. And Kate knows, actually, I was living with Kate, who runs this channel.
Oh, you two were roommates.
We were roommates at the time, and Kate literally sat and like cried with me, like literally with me. It was like the most empathetic and beautiful thing I've ever experienced.
We took a last-minute drive to IKEA in Phoenix.
Yep. I was
12
IKEA's
hours.
great.
I was truly like catatonic, and Kate was like, "Do you want to go to IKEA?" So
Wait, which one did you go to?
We went to Phoenix.
We
Phoenix
had
one?
just moved in, so we
literally
needed
day
stuff.
one. Day
So,
one.
yeah.
Kate was like, "Get in the car, let's go to IKEA," and it was really therapeutic. So yeah,
Nice.
and then for the next year, I was truly asexual, and I don't want to say it was enjoyable, but it was one of the best things I've ever done for myself.
What came from that?
It was, I think in the past when I had gone through breakups or, had any downtime, it was like fill that downtime by having all of the fun and like forgetting about, any of the emotional type of things.
Yeah.
And I was 27 when this happened. And so it was kind of just, it like forced me to think about a lot of things about how I was feeling, what I wanted, why was this so traumatic for me, how can I reconcile with the fact that I wish my ex would die in a terrible plane crash, and did that
We
make
all
me a
feel
bad
that
person?
though. Doesn't it feel good to think about that stuff?
I mean, I literally, never mind, I can't say it.
That's the other podcast. Okay, sorry, I forgot.
No, what I was going to say is I literally went to Mama's Minerals and like bought some crystals to curse him. But,
Oh
like,
no,
whatever, it's
absolutely,
fine.
man. Yeah. You do some weird shit.
I mean, I may have like buried things in my backyard and like burned things, and it was fine. But like, I don't know if
I'm
that
not
did
judging.
anything.
I'm not judging. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, I got a little basic witch for a minute, but that's okay.
Witches are great.
Yeah, witches are great.
Just so y'all know out there, please.
Whatever you gotta do to get rid of that bad juju, man.
It's all about energy, man. It just flows.
All about the energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took a year off, and after that year-long streak, almost to the day, was broken. Then I embarked upon a new journey, which has lasted a little over a year now, and that is going on 100 first dates and/or meeting my soulmate, whatever happens first. And I just completed date number 74.
74.
Yeah.
74 was the allergy reaction.
74 was the guy who surprise brought his dog on the date, and I'm allergic to dogs, and I hadn't taken my allergy medicine because I didn't know he was gonna bring his fucking dog. And
That motherfucker, dude.
I know, and his dog was a really bad dog, and it was jumping all over me and going nuts, and I had an anaphylactic reaction. My eyes swelled shut, and I had to stab myself with an EpiPen on our date.
Like,
So,
where was it?
at Marble.
In Marble. And like at the date, and you just you left, I'm assuming, obviously.
Well, I went to my car. I was like, I think I'm having like a severe reaction, and he's all, oh yeah, your eyes are like really swollen, and then I'm feeling my face, and I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm actually gonna have an anaphylactic reaction here, like my throat might swell up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I need to go get my EpiPen, and he goes, well, are you gonna pay for your beer first?
What an asshole!
Fuck you!
Wow, dude. So they haven't all been charmers, obviously.
No.
Obviously,
There
you've
have
been
been
on
some
74
horrors.
of them.
Yeah,
No, I want to hear about all of it. You should write a book.
I should write a book. I've been
should.
collecting data on all of them too. I don't know if that's like
No,
for
absolutely.
sure, but
I want you'll come back on the other podcast to talk
Yes.
about all of this.
all the
So,
stories.
have you always been allergic to dogs? Speaking of that, because you have
No.
pets, right?
I have a
You have
cat.
a cat.
Don't judge.
Why
yes,
why would somebody judge?
Yes, I'm single, going on 100 first dates, and I have a cat at home.
So
Okay.
you're not, but you're not a cat lady.
I'm like moderate. I'm like the right kind of cat lady. Like, if my cat well, no, that's gonna make me sound abusive. The thing is, I love my cat, but I don't love her too much.
Okay.
Like, you know, she's not my baby. She doesn't take the place of like, you know, a human child or something like that. I, you know, regularly forget whether she's male or female. I like, you know, feed her in bulk and forget about her for a few days. And that's our relationship, and it's great. And she doesn't require any.
You can do that. You can do that with cats.
And you can do that with cats.
She thrives in that.
She thrives in that. Yeah, Kate knows.
No, see, like I'm the type of I love animals. I love them in general. I can't do pets for myself.
Yeah, pets are
tough. Not because
huge commitment.
It's a commitment. I'm really busy.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. Mostly it's my guilt. I feel bad leaving them at home. I feel like I can't give them enough attention.
I know. Get a cat.
My son's allergic.
Oh, that's
His
right.
eyes swell up.
Yeah, see,
Poor little
okay.
guy.
Yeah.
So it's allergies suck, man.
Goldfish. There you go.
What is it, goldfish?
Get a goldfish.
Here's the thing about the pet is that I end up taking care of it.
Yes.
It's fine. We had turtles at one point.
Oh.
Turtles are cool.
Put them in the backyard. They take care of themselves.
It was like a water turtle.
Oh, get a tortoise or whatever. Desert tortoise.
I had one when I was a kid, and we would lose it for like a year, and then we'd find there you are.
A perfect pet.
That's a great pet. It survives, you know, which is really cool, I guess.
They bury themselves in the ground, and that's.
What do they do in the ground? They just hibernate?
Sleep. I don't know. Yeah.
Fucking just do tortoise shit.
Go in their shell and just hang out for.
I don't know. They could survive in this climate.
Yeah, they thrive out here. Recently, I've turtle sat for many people. This has been because I'm going on this amazing Euro trip soon. I've had to side hustle a bunch.
The academic side hustle, as you put it.
Yes.
The academic side hustle.
Yes.
Because you are a true academic.
I am a true
and
academic.
so that means you're kind of poor.
That means I'm hella poor.
Hella poor.
So this has been the summer of animal sitting and house sitting.
Yeah.
And I have sat now for, I think the count is 15 turtles. And these are outdoor turtles that people have in their backyard. And
how many? 15 different
turtles. I mean,
wow.
and some people have multiple turtles, so it's been 4 houses of turtles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of turtles. But they're really cute. They're smart. They're friendly.
Uh-huh.
They eat cat food or dog food or one.
This is a little weird.
Yep, it's kind of weird. One family wanted me to feed them little grubs that were alive. They were like, they like to eat live prey. I'm like, I don't
know about that. I think they'll eat what you feed them.
I'm pretty sure they eat dog food. It's fine.
Is that recommended to give them dog food?
I have no idea. They were my turtles. I just followed instructions.
Okay. I mean, I figured that you were an expert at this point.
No, I wish I were. One thing I did learn is turtles are sensitive on their shell, both the top and the belly, and they really like to have their back scratched. So
they can feel that.
Yeah, you can scratch their backs, and they enjoy it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, now you know.
How about bellies?
Oh yeah, they love having their belly scratched. Well, the thing is, they feel really vulnerable when their belly's exposed, obviously. Because like a turtle on its back is,
they didn't evolve to be on their back.
Right. So they have to really trust you if you're going to rub their belly. But when they do, and when you rub their belly, they are very happy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they wag their tail.
Do they really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they do.
That's adorable.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Follow me on Snapchat and Instagram if you want to see turtle
Yes,
bits.
that's how I know. That's how I know so much about you. Which is not because you Snapchat a lot and you talk to the camera and I feel like I'm really engaged.
Yeah,
with
I
you.
like
your
to.
audience. You really are aware of your audience.
I'm aware of my audience, and speaking of all this live broadcasting stuff, I feel like I'm obviously well suited for it because I live snap or Instagram my life basically.
Is that like a conscious thing you started doing, or is it just kind of you just did it?
It's my nature. I think everyone should know what I'm doing every day.
That sounds more that sounds more like Leo behavior. I don't know.
I thought we weren't saying names.
Oh no, Leo behavior is your sign.
Oh, I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You just gave it away yourself. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know what we're talking about either. It's fine.
What's a Virgo like then?
Virgos are Virgos are super type A, organized, like perfectionist type people that have all of their shit in order. So I'm not sure that live snapping is a Virgo thing per se, but it's also not a Virgo thing. I don't know.
Okay. Do you pay attention to all that stuff, like your rising sign and your moon sign?
No, I don't.
Like
Well, I recently started teaching yoga, and so I've been learning a little bit more about.
Okay. Should you know more stuff like that to teach yoga? Or you just kind of interact with people that are more aware of that stuff?
Well, so the thing is,
You're also a scientist, so you're like,
right.
this
I'm
is
like,
bullshit,
this is pseudoscience.
Right,
Whatever.
right.
But like, it's really charming and fun to kind of,
It's kind of fun to talk
you know,
about.
have
Yeah.
someone read your tarot cards, or
Yeah.
you know when your Saturn is returning, or whatever the fuck that is.
See, I don't
Like,
get the whole planet stuff.
you know what? I don't really get it either.
I know the science stuff, but I don't get the planet stuff.
Are you a Virgo too?
No, I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
doing this podcast. I like being on camera.
Yeah,
It's
see,
all about me all the time.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't necessarily like to be the center of attention, but
You just kind of are.
I just kind of, it like just so happens.
It
so
just happens, so I guess I have to live my best life.
I mean, I am a Virgo on the edge of Leo, so like I'm close to the boundary. So maybe that's my one tell.
Yeah. Okay. So, see,
Yeah.
you're a performer. Do you feel like you're a performer?
No, not at all.
No.
No.
Okay. Because I mean, you do the Snapchat stuff, but
Yeah, but I don't
can
feel like
people
that's
follow you on
performing.
there?
On Snapchat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can follow me on Snapchat or Instagram, West of Sara, all one word.
What does that mean?
So there was, well, it's a couple different things. One,
Yeah.
back when AOL was a thing and I had my very first ever screen name, I chose West of Sara because I thought that it was really cool growing up in Indiana to imagine like moving out west and like, you know, getting out of the Midwest and like that was like a cool thing. So I always imagined that like, you know, my true Sara lied somewhere west of where I was living in Indiana. But also there was a Liz Phair song that I really liked called Go West. And anyway, it was just, there were a lot of things. And it just so happened that when I was 13, I chose it and it's stuck ever since.
So 13, huh?
Yeah.
AIM. Those were the days.
Yep, those were the days.
And you've kept it. You stayed true to that one screen name.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I know. Well, I'm just lucky I didn't pick something dumb like most 13-year-olds.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what mine was. But I had an online girlfriend in California. But I'm pretty sure she was probably a 40-year-old dude.
Probably.
You know, but I was in love, man.
Yeah.
Online love.
Yeah.
It was great.
I never got into any of that stuff. So like I was truly a dork growing up. Like like in terms of, you know, not liking the spotlight or whatever, like I wasn't popular. I didn't want to be popular. I didn't have a lot of friends. Like I wasn't on AIM chatting it up with, you know, some boy from the soccer team. I was like doing nerd things.
So you've always been into what were you into? What nerd stuff were you into in high school?
Like fantasy novels, like
what?
Well, I mean, I guess not anything, not like any one genre or something like. It wasn't like, oh my god, I only read, you know, dork novels. Like I read the prereqs. I played the the prereq board game nerdy stuff. I was captain of the science Olympiad team. I was captain of the debate team. I was captain of the quiz bowl team. Like I did all of the like extracurricular. That's my Virgo side. I had to be involved in literally everything.
Okay. And you've always just had a natural interest in it?
Yeah.
Or that's just what it was? You're just like, was there something, do you remember a point in your childhood where you're just like, this is what I want to do? Like
science stuff? Yeah. Or like how I got to where I am now?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it started somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I was always really, so my mom stayed home with us when we were kids, my siblings and I. And my mom's like this total hippie lady who like, you know, we were always outside doing stuff and blah, blah, blah. And so I had this like really early appreciation for nature and for kind of like naturally like experimenting with things, like trying to learn how things worked and, you know, getting my hands dirty kind of stuff. And so I always,
curious child.
Super curious child. That was like fostered by my parents and my siblings. And then in school, I was just naturally like a really intelligent kid.
Praise yourself.
I was really smart.
You're not worthy.
And so like if you're a smart kid in grade school and high school, like, you know, then that means you're good at math, right? Like everyone's okay at English, and then
does that mean you're good at math?
Like the few nerds are good at like math and science or whatever. That's like, I feel like that's the like step up kind of, especially like if you're a girl and you're good at science and math. Like,
were you on the mathletes?
We didn't have mathletes. We had Science Olympiad. But
you did that version in the science.
Yeah,
and were you the only girl?
No, I was not the only girl,
cool,
but it was definitely more male dominated. But I don't know. Yeah, so I've just naturally excelled at those things, and you know, get positive feedback. If you're one of the, you know, few kids that's like, I like going to math class, like people foster that, and so I had a lot of really great teachers and people that, you know, encouraged me to stay on that track. And then I went to college and I majored actually in math and art history, and then
math and art history.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college?
Huh?
Where'd you go to college?
University of Notre Dame, go Irish.
Notre Dame, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not Irish, though.
Not Irish, Polish.
Polish.
Yeah.
Polak.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
In that area, I think there's a lot of Polish people, right?
Yeah, where I'm from, everyone's
You're
Polish.
near Chicago.
Near-ish Chicago. Yeah.
How close?
About 2 hours.
Okay, so that's pretty
South.
close. Okay.
Southeast.
So right on, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How was it going to college there?
I
mean, because there's just this big idea of like what Notre Dame is.
Yeah, so
you know?
I'll say like I've been a dork like my entire life, and it's only like recently that I've been like, wait a second, like I can be cool too and be a dork. But like in college, I didn't do all of the things that like you're supposed to do in college, like go crazy and party and, do all these things. Like I was into traveling and I was into studying, and those were the things that I did.
Those are cool things.
They're cool things now, but they're not cool things when you're like
back
19.
then. No, in my early 20s, I definitely wasn't doing that. Now I'm into it now, but I'm like late to the game.
Yeah.
So
maybe I was early to the game, but
which is good.
So my college experience wasn't like, Notre Dame's not a huge party school anyway, but it's got this.
I feel like Catholic schools are just raging.
It definitely had this like, undercurrent of like some weird shit that people were into, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna go do my math homework. But football culture was also a big thing at Notre Dame.
Oh, absolutely.
And even though I could care less, like football Saturday on campus was like, there's
you're
nothing
part of
like
the
it.
School kind of.
It's awesome.
It's a culture.
Totally. So I enjoyed going to college there, but I also am not Catholic. So like the religious part of it was lost on me.
Were you just not really raised religiously, or?
Yeah, we were just raised to be nothing.
To be nothing? Well, you became something.
I became something.
You became something.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you applied to programs everywhere out west, I'm assuming, because that's what you wanted to be.
I did. I applied to graduate schools all over the country, but pretty much on either coast. I didn't apply to anywhere outside of the coast except New Mexico. And
that's just it's funny.
It was so random. I had a teacher in my senior year at Notre Dame she was an anthropologist, and I'm actually in an anthropology department right now, Dr. Jada Ben-Torres. And I was taking a class with her that was, it was like, I think it was like a next gen sequencing technologies, blah, 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 but like through anthropology. And so they were looking at doing human population genetics, and like, it was also about some of these like next gen sequencing was like a big deal right when I was in college. It was kind of like that stuff was pretty new. So I had never taken an anthropology class, and I took this one with her, and I loved it. It was so cool. Yeah. It was like, oh my God, we're not just looking at numbers or at plants or at cells or at whatever. It's like, these are humans and they have culture, and like that actually influences their genes and the gene flow and stuff. And it was like another level of complexity that I hadn't been exposed to, and I fucking loved it. And
you
so
just fell for it.
I totally fell hard for it. And then Dr. Ben-Torres, she was like, I know you're applying to grad school for like, biology and genetics, but like, my PhD advisor's at the University of New Mexico, and
So she came here herself?
She did a postdoc here, actually. I think she did her PhD at Arizona.
Okay.
And she's like, I know New Mexico's like totally weird, but like, I think you would like it.
Yeah.
And so I applied on a whim. She sponsored my application. She was like, I'll pay for it. Like, just do it. I think you'd be a great fit for you. Like, do it. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I got accepted here and many other schools, and I was like, well, I'll never go to New Mexico. Like that's my backup. Like, if everything else falls through, like they're gonna give me funding. Like I'll keep it in the back pocket. And then they invited me out to visit, and I'm like, well, hell, I'm never gonna go to New Mexico otherwise. Like I'll take them up on this visit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I flew out here in March of 2011, and I was probably in Albuquerque for 2 or 3 hours, and I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I'm moving to New Mexico.
Really?
I don't know what it was. I was enchanted.
You were enchanted.
I was truly enchanted by New Mexico.
What happened in that short amount of time?
Well, for one, it was like 70 degrees and sunny in March, and I'm coming from Indiana where we still had like snow, like dirty snow on
muddy,
the ground, like gray sky, cold, wet, like gross.
The Midwest gets cold.
It gets cold, and actually the town I'm from, South Bend, we get lake effect snow from from Lake Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and next to Buffalo, New York, it's like the second snowiest city in America.
Oh,
so
really?
it's just tons of snow all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm miserable in the winter. I fucking hate snow. Don't care if I never see another
Yeah.
snowflake as long as I live.
What did I say?
I can't read that.
Hang on. Just keep talking.
Kate's trying to pass a note, but I can't read it.
Come on, you have a mic, Kate.
Yeah, mic it in, Kate.
I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Anyway,
So snow, and then
yeah,
it was the
came
great
here,
weather.
visited. It was beautiful. The people were really nice. I had some, I went to El Patio and had some green chili
Yeah.
for the first time, and like it almost burned my mouth out, but it was tasty, and I just was totally sold. And
You just
I decided right
immediately-
then and there. I think I visited one other program, but I was like, I know
Wow.
I'm going to Mexico.
You just like,
Continue.
okay.
Oh, technical questions.
Technical questions. You've got fans. Well, you're just a popular person.
Yeah, no.
But okay, so you came out here, you were enchanted, and you decided to come out here.
Yep. So I moved here 6 years ago.
And so you've been here for 6 years.
6 beautiful years.
And I know there's a weird sound, but I think it's just the headphones. It's not a big deal. Technical issues.
Technical issues.
But okay, so you came out here 6 years ago, and were you planning on being here for 6 years?
God, no. I thought I would be gone last September. I'm still here.
Is that so? That has to do with just being a doctoral candidate and your work just taking a long time. And so
Yeah.
you just kind of fall into a hole sometimes.
It's a clusterfuck. I
Okay.
mean, anyone that's done the PhD route, like, it sucks. It sounds cool. Like don't get me wrong. Of these 74 dates, like, I've absolutely used my privilege to brag about being a PhD student, and it's gotten me very far. Like, love it.
People are
But the
unimpressed.
people they're so impressed. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no big deal. I'm just finishing up a PhD. Like, whatever. People
Yeah.
are just like, ah.
Yeah.
Either that or they like run away and they're like, nope, don't want anything to do with that.
Really?
It's like very polarizing. It's one or the other. It's either just like googly eyes, like, oh, you're so smart, like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, or people being like, fuck no.
Why?
spit dog
Why?
me.
Why the no?
I don't know. I don't. It's either. I think it's one of. Okay, here's the theory I have. So it's like, dudes have no problem dating someone like, okay, classic example. Think of some like, CEO guy, like, dates his secretary.
Yeah.
Or, any sort of, thing like that. Or, oh, his partner's a preschool teacher, but he's a, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Which, nothing against any of these professions, but like on paper, you might rank one in terms of like education required or whatever,
Yeah.
higher than the other. Men have no problem going down that
Mm-hmm.
hierarchy.
Yeah.
But the second that they would think of dating someone that like might look on paper to be in any way better than them, it's like, instant, like, ego goes crazy. They don't want anything to do with it. They try to, and
They just
I've
shit
been
on you and-
I've been on so many dates where
Yeah.
then it's like the second they find that out, it's like, well, let me prove to you how smart I am. And I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to compete here. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, there are many like dumb decisions I made that got me to this point. Like, I wasn't thinking about what this looked like long term, and blah
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I fully think that given the same past I had, many people could be in my position.
Yeah.
And I have no problem being in a relationship with someone who doesn't have the same level of education that I do. I don't.
Mhm.
I mean, whatever. I don't think that necessarily dictates how intelligent you are.
No.
But I do find that a lot of the dudes I've interacted with get really put off by
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
for whatever reason it is.
Yeah.
And either that or they're super like giant dad boner for it. And like,
There's no middle ground.
I
with
have
you.
not found much middle ground.
They're just like,
unfortunately.
you're so smart. This is hot.
Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Which is always very interesting. What do you? So you look at. So tell me again what you study, what you look
Yeah.
at, because it's very interesting. You told me a little bit beforehand, but I want you to explain it to me in person.
Yeah. So so I'm doing a dissertation, and dissertation has 3 chapters usually to it, or that's UNM's requirement. So I've got kind of 3 separate-ish projects. But if I were to sum them all up into one kind of umbrella description, it would be that I study the evolution of complex phenotypes. And human phenotypes. And a phenotype is a trait that you can observe. So a phenotype might be, brown hair or blue eyes, or a phenotype might be someone who has Huntington's disease, or a phenotype might be that you have diabetes, type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's some trait. So all of these traits that we have are, necessarily controlled by our genes, by the, DNA that we have inside of us, and then also our environment plays some role into that. So I may have a gene that tells me I have a high likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes, my grandfather had it, and whatever.
Okay.
But if I eat a super healthy diet and I, take excellent care of, what I'm putting into my body and monitoring, different levels of chemicals inside my body, I might be able to avoid getting type 2 diabetes, whereas someone else who maybe their genes looked a lot better than mine did in terms of genetic predisposition to type 2 diabetes, so this late onset, adult onset diabetes, but they ate, cookies every day for breakfast and drank, soda all day long, then they might get diabetes even though their genes look different. So anyway, there's...
So is that kind of like along the lines of like your genetics load the gun, your lifestyle pulls the trigger, or is it kind of like your lifestyle can imprint on your genes and that determines your offspring?
Both ways. Both of those are accurate. But in terms of what I'm looking at, it's that I would say 80 to 90% of the picture is your environment. It's what you eat. It's what you... what type of healthcare you had access to, which then brings in, some of this anthropological culture social stuff, socioeconomic status can, in a weird way affect your predisposition to certain diseases.
And your offspring as
things
well.
like that. And your offspring, level of stress. So this perceived stress that's in your environment. So how stressed out you are, how little you sleep, or things like that. That, spikes in cortisol or some other epigenetic markers that might come from oxidative stress inside the body, that can also affect your likelihood of developing some of these diseases, the amount of stress that your outside environment puts on your inside environment.
So, does it... I feel like obviously if you intake a lot of sugar, you're more likely to get diabetes.
Right.
How is that impacting your genetics within your lifespan? Like, is that enough to be like, okay, or is it more relevant to your offspring?
So this is a classic type of genetic question that it's called Lamarckian genetics. And so Lamarck was an early biologist, evolutionary biologist, and his theories were kind of like if a giraffe, giraffes have long necks, and giraffes have long necks because they want to eat fruit or leaves that are high up on a tree, and they have to strain their neck to get these leaves. And so over generations of straining their neck and reaching higher and higher and higher, eventually it stretched out to be these long necks. Well, that's in contrast to Darwinian evolution that would say doesn't matter, if you break your leg or whatever and your leg is, stunted during your lifetime, your kid's not going to get a stunted leg. Or if you stretch your neck to reach high leaves, it's not that act of reaching, stretching your neck that eventually passes on. Your genes are much more static. They're not affected by things like that. So eating sugar or something in our, if my mother had, eaten cookies and pop every soda, I'm from Indiana, I say pop.
I like pop. Yeah.
She drank a Coke every night with dinner. She might have been very unhealthy, but the genes that I inherited from her, she did that before she had me, the genes I inherited from her would, by and large, not be affected by, her lifestyle. The genes I get from her, the genes she got from her parents, and they got from their parents, and et cetera, et cetera. The genes themselves don't change. What changes is, say, while my mother was pregnant with me, the in utero environment, if that's under a lot of stress and experiencing spikes in insulin and this and that, you can have these epigenetics. So epi meaning on top of in Greek, it's this these little marks or things that sit right on top of your DNA, and they can affect how the genes that you have are expressed. So it didn't change the genes that you have, it just changes the physical conformation of your DNA. So DNA is, we normally think of it in these long, double helix, this long double strand.
Yeah.
Well, that double strand is actually knotted up and balled up in these, all really tight little structures wrapped around histones. And when the DNA becomes unwrapped, that's when you can access those genes and use them. If you've got some of these epigenetic marks on, they can keep DNA from being unraveled, and then those genes are never used, never utilized,
Yeah.
or it can prevent DNA from tightening up, in which case those genes are always going to be turned on.
Okay.
So that can lead to negative health consequences. But anyway, maybe that's too much of an answer, but that's
No,
kind of a
no, no.
subtle
Yeah.
point that's really relevant to the type of research that I do, is that
Okay.
your genes themselves are not changing. Though your environment can affect those genes, it doesn't change those genes.
It doesn't change those genes. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's more so I mean you're looking at it over the span of several generations.
So my data
Right,
is
okay.
all of human time and all of human space.
That's a lot of data.
And it sounds really sexy to say that, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of data. So for example, the data set I'm working on, like actively right now, is 95 terabytes in size. Like
Okay.
that's fucking massive. That's
Uh-huh.
I mean those are files you can't open up and like work with. You have to, everything's kind of, remote in the way that you're accessing it and working with it,
Okay.
which is neat. But yeah, so the types of questions I'm asking are, so a complex phenotype, that's what I was saying, is I study complex phenotypes. And complex means genes and environment.
Mhm.
If something is not complex, it's Mendelian, and that means it's either 100% or it's 0, like a binary expression of a trait. So you either have Huntington's disease or you don't. There's not there's not a range.
Okay.
Something like diabetes or heart disease or cancers, you fall on some spectrum of expression, how bad your type 2 diabetes is.
Yeah.
And that's because there's more than one gene that affects it, and there's more than one type of environmental cue that can affect how it's expressed. So what I'm looking at is from an evolutionary perspective, what can we see in this, if you imagine all of human time and all of human space as some sort of like coordinate plane, some like a landscape is what we call it. So it's like this big flat landscape, and somewhere in that landscape there are little peaks that pop up, little mountains and little valleys that pop up, and that's why we call it a landscape. And those peaks and those valleys are probability distributions. And whenever there's a peak, that would mean there's a really high probability that one of these traits, that there would be a unique genetic, like selective event that would drive the genetic part of one of these traits to be at high frequency.
Okay.
And as we look at that across time and space, we would see things like maybe as the human species left Africa and migrated outside of the African continent to populate the rest of the globe, the environment changed dramatically leaving Africa, right? So you could imagine Northern Europe compared to the Fertile Crescent in Africa, those very, very different environments. And because of that, humans that are going to be very fit in a particular environment in Africa, they might be less fit in Northern Europe.
Okay.
And that works in the converse. So based on how these environments have changed and how population sizes have changed and all of these different parameters that we can plug into this model, we're going to see areas where certain traits are selected for and driven to high frequency, not just by random chance, but by and selected for implies some sort of cognizant design. That's not the case, but
How does it happen?
selection is survival of the fittest.
So it's just it's completely random, or
it's not
there's
completely.
But how often does it have to happen to where it continues on to the next generation or several down?
So
how long did it take for the skin to turn from a darker color to a lighter color, for example?
Yeah,
so they can absorb more.
So that is totally dependent on how many individuals you have. You could think of it like this. If the human species leaving Africa were only 10 individuals, and those 10 individuals had, let's say the trait is, we're looking at eye color. Let's say that those 10 individuals, 9 of them had brown eyes and 1 of them had blue eyes.
Okay.
Well, if we were looking at, only 10 individuals and let's say, blue eyes, half of their children or something would have blue eyes. If there was a mating between a brown eye and a blue eye, your offspring, 50% of them are blue. And this is not true. This is just an example.
Right.
It wouldn't take very long for that blue-eyed trait to spread throughout the population and reach a higher frequency than it was when it started. It wouldn't be necessarily wiped out completely if half of your offspring are necessarily inheriting that trait. So in that case, it would take a relatively short amount of time. If it were something like 30% of your offspring would inherit this trait, it's going to take a little bit longer. If it were 100 individuals and 1 of them had a blue eye, it takes a lot longer, et cetera, et cetera. So you can, the number of individuals, the penetrance, so the how these genes are expressed and passed on to the next generation.
So these genes don't just go
matters.
away. They get passed on, but they're just evidence.
Well, they can go away.
They can.
I mean, if having...
Why do we still have wisdom teeth? Stuff like that.
Well, yes, we do have some traits that don't serve us very well. But
Yeah.
something like say, so in terms of survival of the fittest, so say having, blue eyes made you less fit in your new European environment or, Eurasian environment as you leave Africa, heading into the Middle East. Having blue eyes meant that you couldn't survive in that environment. So all the blue-eyed people die off, and that trait essentially disappears. And a lot of that happened. And a lot of that happens randomly.
Yeah.
So if only 10 people leave the country, the continent, excuse me.
There's no countries. That's a social construct.
That's a social construct, yeah.
Okay.
So if 10 people leave the continent of Africa, and within Africa there are dozens and dozens and dozens of eye colors.
Yeah.
We're using this as a random make-believe example. But only 10 of those eye colors make it outside of the continent, then the entire rest of the globe is only populated from those 10.
Right.
And Africa then would have all of this variation that just never made it outside of the continent and just could not. It wasn't that selection had anything to do with it. It had nothing to do with fitness. It just was random that those other options didn't leave the continent.
Okay.
So there's randomness, there's selection, there's survival of the fittest. There's
a lot of different variables
there's a
that go
lot
into
of different variables that go into this,
Okay.
and I'm kind of modeling all of those types of possibilities, statistically speaking, and looking to see where in time. So is it these migration events, leaving Africa, migrating across the Bering Land Strait into the New World, which is turns out that is actually the one migration that matters in all of this. It's out of Africa and then it's into the New World, where we see evolutionary opportunity. We see a big spike in this landscape that says this event led to genetic variation that is going to be specific to this population and this population alone. So there's variation that's specific to all non-Africans that does not exist in Africa. There's variation that's specific to all Native Americans that does not exist, statistically speaking, outside of the Americas. And because of that, paper number 2 is then looking at what type of variation is this.
Okay.
So then I screen this across, looking to see what genes this variation falls in, what pathways are these genes involved in,
Okay.
are they involved in metabolic disease or this or that, and can this help us explain some disease disparity across populations? Can it help us design more personalized medicine so that if I'm treating a Native American with diabetes versus someone from the Congo with diabetes, I wouldn't treat them the same way. They would,
Right, because
there would be a genetic signature architecture that's different between these populations, and they should be treated as individuals, not a blanket.
So
medical
one medicine
treatment.
can't cure all of it because the human
In theory,
it reacts differently depending on all these genetic reasons.
Right,
Okay.
and culture aside, so I'm not even looking at cultural
culture
cues,
is, yeah,
but
absolutely.
there's a huge body of research that would say, I shouldn't treat someone who's in, socioeconomic class 1 the same as I would treat someone who's in, this
Absolutely.
opposing class,
Absolutely.
and for good reason. So, and most medicine was developed on white men, so to therapies and
That's what we
and
need to cure.
pharmaceutical interventions
That's who can afford it.
that were designed for white men.
Yeah.
That's not a blanket treatment, and it shouldn't be. So that's
Okay.
long story short. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. So, and what do you hope to accomplish after all of that? I mean, you're hoping to actually find these key things to actually create these medicines?
Well, so
Or-
my role wouldn't be in creating any type of medicine. So
Right.
I'm a statistician, geneticist, whatever
Okay,
you want
right,
to call it. So
right.
I'm identifying these things, and I'm providing a framework that someone else who is more
Obviously,
medically
yeah.
minded would then use, and that would
Somebody
direct.
in pharmacology.
Right, that directs them in
yeah.
a particular direction and provides, this kind of foundation of okay, there's African, non-African, and then there's Native American. Maybe these are the only 3 groups that truly are popping out statistically. So it doesn't really make sense that I would be doing a study design that's like the French versus the British.
Right.
If we're looking on a group level, these groups look identical.
Yeah.
If we're, ideally we look at everyone on a, truly an individual level. That is more expensive and becomes harder and is not feasible in 2017, unfortunately.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future.
Are you going to be able to find a way to keep us alive forever?
The answer to that is that's impossible. I know, so sad.
Maybe with robots.
Yeah, maybe with robots. Yeah,
Maybe.
artificial intelligence. Maybe we all stay alive forever.
There should be a show about that. No, well, I mean, I think that's really interesting. Did you
Yeah.
set out like knowing that this was going to be like your path? Obviously, you got here not thinking that you're going to be here for 6 years.
Yeah.
And is there an end date on all of this research?
Oh God.
Is that a dumb question?
It's like
Okay.
never.
It's a
ask
loaded
student
question.
that.
It's a
Yeah.
loaded question.
So if you had asked me, a year ago, I would have been like, yeah, I'm graduating in like a month in September.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's that did not happen. So
Okay.
there are a lot of politics involved in getting a degree, and you're
Okay.
working with a committee of people. You are working against other labs that are doing the same type of stuff you are and trying not to be scooped like someone. I mean, this has happened to me. Another lab has
Really?
done basically the same thing I set out to do and published it first, and then in that case you start over.
Oh, man.
So that's happened to me. That's part of the delay. My advisor is also
Mm-hmm.
a real D-bag.
It happens. I think a lot of people have that relationship with their advisors.
Yeah, so
So-
there have been a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like it's their job to make your life hell.
it's this weird rite of passage thing that like I pray to the gods I never inflict upon another soul. But
So you want to be a professor?
fuck no. No.
What do you want to do?
I want to leave academia far, far behind.
Okay.
I love research. I would love to continue
Okay.
doing research as long as I live, but I need to do it in some way that's not quite as perverted as academia has turned out to be.
Okay.
It's not what I thought it would be. It's
What have you realized? Which I mean, I know, but what have
Yeah.
you realized? Tell me.
I mean, it's the competitiveness, the publish or die, the sabotage, the just like really unnecessarily cutthroat and secretive nature that academics
It's a lot
have.
of ego.
There's a lot of ego when
Oh
it's
my God, the self-importance. I can't.
it's the
can't do it.
self-importance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
just like an ugly place to be.
Yeah.
And that being said, there's also the best people I've ever met have been academics, and I mean it has been truly the greatest privilege in my entire life to spend now 6 years sitting around and thinking about tough questions and
Absolutely.
talking to people that are the smartest in their field, and
We're, all three of us are very privileged to be able to kind of do that kind of thing.
it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
I
Just get
love
paid,
it.
practically get paid. Not very well,
Not very
mind
well.
you,
I
but
got
get
all side
paid to
hustles.
kind of research and talk to people about this.
Yeah,
and
I
do
mean it's
interesting research,
it's a
yeah.
dream come true in so many ways, and it's
Yeah.
a real shame that it does also get ruined.
Okay, so you don't want to ruin somebody's life.
No, I don't want
You wanna
to.
make
I don't
somebody's
think
life
I would
hell.
be good at it. To be honest,
No?
I don't think I would thrive as a principal investigator or in charge
Okay.
of an entire lab doing.
It's a lot of work.
Having to compete for these types of things. It's not quite my nature, and it's not something I think I'm very skilled at. That being said, I'm very skilled at research, and I would love to use those skills in the private sector where someone will pay me a little more money, and I could be a part of a team rather than, kind of working as an individual.
Yeah. Do you feel very alone in academia? I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I
Oh.
completely. It's a really lonely place to be in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're just so much smarter and better than everyone else.
Right? Yeah.
They
No,
just
the
hate on
elitism
you.
just separates you instantly.
We are just elite. We're just a little bit better.
A little bit,
Kind of like Scientologists.
kind of like Scientology.
No, I'd never equate myself to a Scientologist.
Oh God, no.
No. I'm just saying that because I've been listening to a lot of different stuff about them. But they're intense people.
Aliens.
Aliens, man.
Yeah.
It's all aliens and volcanoes.
Yeah.
Lit-
Which, like, honestly, if I had to pick a religion, aliens and volcanoes sound pretty awesome. It's
true. Yeah.
it's just their like manipulation and abuse that I don't stand behind, But like, aliens fine.
Right, that's just the one thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
no.
aside from that, totally cool.
That would be the one.
Yeah.
Blind, not Buddhism, not Hinduism, not like
I mean,
Taoism.
I think everything has
an
its
ism.
charm, right? Like
Alcoholism.
I don't know. Why not? Hashtag grad school.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So I guess that's you know a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that happens after years of just studying, right?
Yeah. 6 years.
And I'm sure you see yourself leaving Albuquerque.
Yeah, I think now that I've been on 74 dates here, there's just not much left for me in this town. No, they're.
Listen. I mean, there's plenty of guys, I'm sure. Where are you meeting these guys?
Any and all avenues. So
Okay.
Tinder, Bumble, in line at the coffee shop. Actually, an old woman who's a friend of mine. She's like 85, I think. She just tried to set me up with her neighbor boy.
Neighbor boy.
Yeah, he's a med student at UNM, and I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah. No,
Okay.
Anyway, I don't think it's a love connection.
No. What are you looking for in a match?
Oh God,
Not
that's
that this is a
loaded
kind
question.
of. We're not trying to find her a date here.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're single, holler at me.
You
No.
could be 75.
You could be lucky number 75. No, I don't know. I think it's like very simple what I would say I'm looking for, and what I think most people would agree that they're looking for. It's hard to find, these qualities all in the same person, which I never thought it would be. But I want someone who's kind and not a liar and
I don't think that's too much to ask.
and loyal. I mean, I don't know why these are like such hard traits to find in a person.
Yeah. Is there a pattern here?
Albuquerque?
Albuquerque? Blame the place.
Ah.
You can leave, but will it follow you?
Oh God, I hope not.
No, I mean, I guess there's a lot of different things that go into finding a match, right?
Yeah, no, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, you said you want to find a soulmate. Do you very much believe in soulmates?
I didn't until I met my soulmate last July,
Oh,
and he ghosted me.
really?
It's
Straight up ghosted you?
straight up ghosted
Then is it
me.
really your soulmate?
I mean, do we have time for me to tell the story? It's a long
Yeah,
story.
no, we got some
Okay.
time.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
So, I won't use names again because New Mexico is just so small.
Or unless you give it away somehow.
I will try
Sarah.
not to give this one away.
Okay.
So I met this guy, I met him on Tinder, and he lives in Santa Fe, or lived, I don't know if he's still there, I think he's gone. He was, I also won't say what he did because I think that would also be too telling. But let's just say he had a PhD, very intelligent, was working at a very prestigious institution in Santa Fe.
Okay.
Just incredibly good looking. And he matched me on Tinder. And I was like, oh my God, this guy, he's so perfect.
Yeah.
So we chatted for a while, and then he was like, yeah, let's like hang out. I'll come down to Albuquerque. Let's go grab a beer. Great. So we met up. Best date of my entire life. He was
Really?
I mean,
What was so great about the date?
I did not believe in soulmates. I swear to you, Oscar, I made eye contact with this guy the second he walked in. We went to Sidetrack Brewery. Second he walked in, I was like, oh my God, this is the man I'm supposed to marry. Like
You just felt it. You
I
knew
mean,
it. Yeah.
head to toe, like just completely overcome by, I don't know, I can't, and it's not like he was the best looking guy I've ever seen in my entire life, like perfectly average by,
But something about him.
there was something truly, it just overtook me. And our date lasted like 5 or 6 hours. Best conversation.
Yeah.
I was laughing. We were talking about interesting stuff, and he was nice, and it wasn't creepy, and it was like flirty without being like suggestive. And I was like, this man is fucking perfect. Like,
Okay.
yes, I do. I will marry you today.
Yeah, and how long did that last?
So date ended, and he's like, okay, well, I have to go back to Santa Fe, but like I had such a great time with you. Like this was, and he fucking brought it up, not me. He's like, I've never really felt a connection like this with someone meeting the first time. He's like, I'm not trying to be weird or like read too much into it, but like I really can't wait to see you again. Like, can I get your number? And I'm gonna be out of town for a while, but like I really want to stay in contact. Like it'd be a real shame if we didn't see each other again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I love you. I will marry you. Okay. So, I give him my number, and he goes out of town for 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks he's gone, and of course he's in Oregon visiting his sick grandmother, taking care of her because
Such a
that's how
good
wonderful
guy.
it is.
Yeah.
And he's like texting me the whole time, and not just like, "Hey girl, what's up?" but like truly
sharing stuff with
like
you,
sharing
intimate
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, but like not, and again, not like, let me see your tits, but like like genuinely.
Is that intimate though?
It's not intimate. Just saying. But like truly like wanted to get to know me, wanted to know like how my day, like genuinely wanted to know how my day was, not just like a canned, so like, what'd you do today? What's up?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I'm like, I'm in love with this man. So then he's like, okay, I'm flying back next week. Like, I fly back on Sunday. Like, let's make plans to hang out, like, maybe on Wednesday or something. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'd love to. I love you. And then he lands in Albuquerque, and he texts me that morning, and he's like, hey, I know we're, like, not supposed to hang out till Wednesday, but, like, I'm in Albuquerque, and, you know, I have to drive back to Santa Fe, but, like, you know, do you want to just, like, grab breakfast or something really quick? Like, he's like, I just, you know, I can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I love you. Let's have breakfast. So we go have breakfast, and it's awesome. And we end up, like, going back to my place and hanging out for the entire rest of the day. Just, like, amazing connection with this person. Never felt awkward, never felt weird. The best.
Okay.
And while he was over at my house, I have a little bookcase that Kate helped me build. And on that bookcase, there was a book that I had got when I was in Japan, and it was The Japanese Art of Vegetable Carving, because in Japan, apparently it's a thing to, like, carve up your vegetables to look like little, like, creatures or flowers or whatever. And there's, like, a whole thing, and I had this book.
Neat, yeah.
It was neat. And so he saw the book, and he's like, oh my God, what's that book, blah, blah, blah. We talked about it, we looked at it, it was funny. Then, you know, day ends, he goes home. You know, he's like, this was such a great day. Like, I can't wait to see you. Like, let's hang out Wednesday. You know, like, keep that day planned.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And then he goes home. He texts me later. He's like, okay, I made it home. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Are you watching Game of Thrones tonight? Whatever, whatever. So we were chatting a bit that night. And then he says something. He brings up that stupid fucking vegetable book. And he's like, you know, I was just thinking about that, you know, cucumber that was carved like a, you know, dragon. Like, that was, I just still can't believe people can do that. Like, that's so crazy. And then I go, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Remember that artichoke carved to look like a porcupine? Like, question mark, exclamation mark, winky face. And then he never responds.
What?
And I'm like,
It's so
okay, like,
ridiculous.
whatever. Maybe that didn't, like, require a response, and, like, he's tired, and it was, like, pretty late. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, this guy obviously loves me as much as I love him. Like, it's fine.
Right.
So then, you know, I don't hear from him that night. Next day rolls around, and, like, you know, I hadn't heard from him, but I'm like, you know, whatever. I'm not embarrassed to, like, double text because, you know, I'm very secure that this is my soulmate.
Yeah.
So I, like, text him the next day. I'm like, hey, how's your first day back at work after your vacation? Like, how's it going? And I don't hear from him. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe he's just really, like, busy at work. So then, you know, that evening rolls around, still haven't heard from him. That night, still haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to panic. I'm like,
right. You're like, oh no.
well, I'm like, clearly he was in a car accident or something, and like,
So he's dead.
He's in a coma,
Right.
and like that's
Something
why
happened. Yeah.
I'm not hearing back from him.
Yeah.
Or like maybe his sick grandmother died, and he's like emotionally distraught, and that's why he's not texting back. Like, should I reach out to him? Like, should I be looking for like obituaries and like calling hospitals? Like, you know, there's no reason that this guy, and I had never been ghosted up until this point. I'm like, there's no reason that he would just not.
Your first time.
This is also my first time, and also my soulmate. It was really tragic. So I don't hear from him. So then it's Tuesday. Tuesday rolls around, and I'm like, oh, we're supposed to hang out Wednesday. Like, you know, I'll text him one more time. So I text him again. I'm like, hey, are we still on for tomorrow? Like, you know, I haven't heard from you. Hope everything's like going okay. You know, let me know.
Yeah.
Never hear from him. Don't hear from him Wednesday, and I'm distraught. I mean, I definitely like shed a tear over this. I was upset.
So Wednesday comes and goes.
Yeah, never hear from him. And so, I tried to rationalize this in every possible way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
did you do some stalking?
I did. He doesn't have Facebook, doesn't have Instagram, couldn't find him anywhere. So I'm like, and I knew where he worked, and I was like, okay, how far do I take this stalking? And I'm like, no, don't be creepy. So yeah, I was like, all right, well, you know, maybe he's dead, maybe he's not, I don't know, but like,
and there's been no contact.
So 4 months went by. 4 months go by, and this is how I'm so embarrassed that I'm admitting this. So I had, because of how often we were texting, and I normally don't look at my phone during the day, I keep it on silent. Well, I gave him his own texting ringtone.
Yeah, no, I've
whatever,
done
it's a thing.
Don't be embarrassed. When you're
whatever.
really into somebody, you want to know that it's them.
I wanted to know it was him, so I gave him a little angel jingle on my phone, so I would know, you know, a little angel sound came on, it was him, obviously. So 4 months later, I'm sitting at my desk, just like, you know, at my computer doing whatever, and I hear like, dee-dee-dee-dee, and I'm like, what? Pick up my phone, and it's this motherfucker. So text message I get is, LOL, yeah, that artichoke carved like a porcupine was fucking hilarious. 4 months later. I mean, it was like someone had knocked the air out of me.
What does that mean?
Like, he responded to that fucking vegetable comment
right, but like
4 months later.
But you had sent like 3
I
other
don't
texts.
know. I know. So
What?
So I'm like, okay, so first thing I did, actually, I was like, get on Google. I'm like, can cell phone text be lost in space for like 3 months?
So there was a miscommunication or something.
And it turns out they can't. So I'm like, okay, no, it was definitely delivered. It says delivered. It's an iPhone. Like, I know
It was delivered.
So I'm like, okay, my text wasn't just lost. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I have 3 options here. Option 1, I pretend like nothing ever happened, and I just continue and hope he falls in love with me, and like let's just roll with it. He's my soulmate, obviously.
Yeah.
Option number 2 is I just ream him and be like, you fucking asshole, how dare you, like, you're just scum, I hate you.
Yeah.
And I decided not to do either of those things.
You played it cool?
Played it real cool, and what I did was I set an alarm in my phone for 4 months from that day, at which point I texted him back, and I said, LOL, yeah, that artichoke was fucking hilarious.
And?
And he wrote me back and said, ... I see what you did there.
That's
So
a fucking,
good.
that's a
It's
high
so
five,
good.
dude. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so
What?
good.
That's such a good story.
It's
the best.
It's the best, except that it's like utter heartbreak, and like I was.
Oh, whatever, dude. He had it coming.
He had
Oh,
it coming.
totally.
Yeah.
What a jerk, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you went through that. But I mean, does that make you see? I have this theory, and I was told this theory when I was in Germany. I was in Berlin visiting a friend, and there was this girl that was going to be picking me up when I was in Italy, right? And it was just my
soulmate.
Well, I thought so at the time, right? Well, I still very much have this kind of like idea of her. You know, I see her. I'm just like, there's something.
Yeah.
I just can't
Yeah.
get over it.
I know what you
like
mean.
I will never be able to get over it.
Oh, I'll never be over.
Right,
Santa Fe
and
boy.
but my old roommate couldn't come pick me up, and so he was sending her. And then I was like, oh man, like
that's your moment.
and I'm gonna have to hang out with her for a little bit until he gets off of work. So I'm like, I'm totally caught off guard, and I'm talking to a friend. I'm just like, is there such thing as like a soulmate? And she's like, well, I think there's several. I think there's more than one.
God, I
there's
hope
7
so.
billion people on Earth. I think that a soulmate is sometimes you're friends with a soulmate forever, and sometimes you get to be with them. Sometimes you don't marry your soulmate,
God,
which is
damn
kind
it.
of sad.
It's so sad.
It's sad, but at the same, I was like, but I'm like, I can see what you mean. I think I've dated enough people, and I've lived enough life. I mean, in my short amount of time, but I've lived a
Your
lot.
28 long years.
Right? No, but I've done a lot of shit. I've been through a lot of stuff, just as you have,
Yeah.
heartache and all of that. To know that like there's some connections that just don't go away.
Yeah.
You just like,
For real.
fuck, dude. Like, what is it? I see a picture of this person, and I'm just right back to square one with it. Just emotionally, I'm just like, I just melt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I can't help it.
Well,
Do you
put
feel
them
like
on a fucking pedestal, and like
Oh,
they
what is
can't
it?
be regular people after that.
no,
you know?
no, they can't be. They're always going to be that one that
Yeah,
got away.
The one that got away. God damn you, Santa Fe boy.
Right. So that. Do you feel? I mean, you feel. So you're not set. You don't think that was it, and from there on out,
I mean, I
yeah.
fucking hope that wasn't it, because
Okay.
if it was, like,
Yeah, I don't think.
damn
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I'm just curious as to what you think.
I mean, I didn't believe in soulmates until I met this person,
Okay.
and so I don't really have like a long-standing kind of psychology around
Okay.
what it means to be one's soulmate per se. But I do think that whatever this certain charm was that this bro had, like that has to be replicated in another human somewhere.
Right.
I just have to find them.
So it's just like now it became an experiment. I need to replicate.
Oh God,
You
yeah. I mean,
replicate
I can't.
all the
I
conditions
can't do it. It has to be inherent in this person, and
And I think it's just kind of it's serendipitous.
and hopefully that they also don't ghost me when I meet them.
Ghosting's rough, and I don't get that, man.
It's the
I think we're gonna do a
rudest-
whole
Why it's a
episode on it
thing.
on the other
It's
podcast
the
as well.
fucking. It's
Yeah.
the most cowardly behavior that you can encounter in 2017. I truly
Have some
believe it
fucking
is.
backbone, dude. Like, tell me.
I would never do. I've been on 74 dates. I've never ghosted a single person.
I feel like, I mean, to an extent, just be like, okay, like, I've slowly been ghosted. I've never just been abruptly, just like, boom. That's rough.
A slow ghost is like arguably fine, depending on like how it, if it just is something that like fizzles and
Just
da da da
fizzles
da,
out.
like whatever, I get it, that's
But
fine.
even
That's
then,
natural.
but it's like, tell me like you're not interested. Don't like.
Yeah, give me some like.
Don't try to be nice to me.
Yeah, fuck
Fucking-
being nice.
Yeah, fuck my feelings.
Fuck my
Who do you think
feelings.
you are to think that you can control my feelings or be
Yeah.
nice or be? I mean,
No, fuck that.
pull it off quick like a band-aid. I'd rather be mad at you and get over it quickly.
Right, and I'm like,
Then-
I would have been equally distraught had this, perfect man been like, hey, you know how I said like we had this great connection, I couldn't wait to see you, but like actually my ex came back in the picture and she's way hotter than you, so like I'm sorry, but like I don't want to see you anymore. Like
Yeah,
had that
we
been the
create-
case,
we'll
I would have
create
been like, damn it, that sucks. Let me go cry for a little while because you were my soulmate, but like
But I
at
get
least
it.
I get it.
I get it.
I'm not like
Yeah.
waiting around thinking like, is he in a car accident? Is his dead grandma? Like,
Right. Well, the second I'm rejected, I'm like, it's not me. It's they're fucking dead.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, like,
Or-
or give me something to fucking work from. I've been on 74 dates, and it's like, of those 74, 5 have received second dates. Okay,
5.
so
Okay.
the odds are
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah.
And it's me being picky, and it's also not every bro I go out with asks me on a second date either. It's not it's not a one-way thing. So I feel like at this point, I've been on so many dates. Like, I would love to tell some of these guys, like, you know what? Here's what you did wrong, or
Yeah.
like here's why this is not going to work. But that's
Yeah.
it's like you can't do that. That's rude. Blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
I would love someone to do that to me, and I
Yeah.
think I could really help someone else. I'm like,
I would love
bro,
some
I've been on
constructive
so
criticism.
many dates. Let me just tell you, when when a girl is having, her eyes are swelling shut, and you say, hey, are you going to pay for your beer first? That was your kiss of death. I mean, the dog
Yeah,
probably
right.
was your kiss of death, but like
No.
that was a level of insensitivity that like you just don't bounce back from. Maybe I don't know if you were aware of that. Well, I know it wasn't his intent because he has since asked me out many times to no response. And not ghosting, no response, but like me being like, no, I don't want to see you again. I'm not interested. And then continuing to text after that.
Do you guys just not get it, man?
Dang.
A lot of them don't get it. So,
There's a lot of this. Of just guys, obviously,
Well,
kind of
like
just
I was saying,
continuously
my-
just going after you and being like,
the person that I was with when I met you, there is something to be said for like, not being worn down because that's insulting, but someone that's like confident in the fact that they really want to be with you, like that in and of itself is an attractive quality. But like once you've been told no and you continue, that's when it's insulting, and it's like you're
not
digging yourself
heeding,
a
right,
grave
yeah.
here. Like, I'm a grown ass woman. If I say I don't want to be with you, I don't want to be with you. I'm not playing a game. I'm not trying to like play hard to get here. I
No.
don't want to be with you.
right.
So,
And
like,
it's just not gonna happen.
That's
dude.
not. I mean, honestly, their chances would be better if they were like, "Hey, I totally respect that. Like, if you ever do want to hang out, like, let me know. You have my number."
Can we be friends?
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
your chances are exponentially higher if you take that road than the like, "Hey, I know you said no, but like, what about tonight? I'm like drunk and I feel like maybe my odds are better." No, your odds are not better.
Still up?
Yeah,
What
no.
are you doing at 11 p.m.?
Hey, girl, what's your Snapchat? No.
Hey girl, what's your Snapchat?
It's a thing now. All these dudes I
Really?
meet on Tinder, they're like, number one. I mean, it's like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Hey, what's your Snapchat? Like,
Oh.
I don't.
I've been on online dating in a while
And
on like that.
oh,
thing.
God, lucky you. And I mean, I'll
Yeah.
give them my Snapchat, but you're not getting a tit pic from me. Like, I will send you a snap of like my cat eating dinner or
How often do you get
scratching
that-
a turtle's
that
belly.
request?
All the time. I'd say, and I have the numbers because I do take statistics on all of my dates and conversations. I would say it's probably it's
awesome.
well above 50% of the time.
Oh my god.
Man, I didn't even realize a tit pic was a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's like they want to Snapchat you like right before bed. It's like some dude laying in bed.
He's
you
feeling
know,
lonely.
feeling
Yeah.
lonely, and he's
Yeah.
got the selfie angle, and he's like, hey, what's up? How's your day? I'm feeling like my day was kind of long. I'm tired, but I want to say hey before I go to sleep. What's up? It's like, okay, one, like I've got no makeup on. My hair is like up in a messy bun. I've got like zit cream on my face. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to snap with you right now. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to go to bed. Can you leave me alone?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That's
no,
when
I
you
think-
snap like a close up of your bedspread or something, and then like draw some shit on it.
Just let him just snap through a cat.
Well,
Yeah.
so what a lot of times I do is I'll Snapchat just like I'll cover up the camera so it just make like a black picture, and then I draw like a little girl, like like a stick figure, like
nice.
with a dress on or whatever, and I'll make a
Nice.
little word bubble and like write back to them. And
Yeah.
they're always like, "LOL, that's so cute," but like turn your camera on, or like you can use your flashlight. I'm like, no, goodbye.
Oh man. Dude.
Yeah.
It makes me feel. I mean, I feel like I'm such a good person now.
Yeah.
Hearing all this shit you have to deal with, because I never did that.
No, it's
I've never
the
done
worst.
that. Not to like praise myself, but like I really don't do that stuff, and I just don't get it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I would have, but we didn't really have Snapchat or Instagram. In the
No,
early 20s.
yeah,
What was around then? It was just Facebook.
no. Facebook, yeah.
What else was there? Hotmail, Messenger,
GChat.
G.
I
Oh
G-
yeah,
I
G
G-
chat.
I still use G-Chat.
I G-chatted
Yeah.
with a lot of dudes in my early 20s.
Now it's like Google Hangout or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
no, that's
when
too
Google,
much.
when Google
That's
came
too-
out
too
with like an
invasive.
online platform to
Yeah.
kind of like compete with Facebook, and,
And then
just
failed.
Yep.
didn't work out. I was like, maybe this will work out. man.
No, it was a nice try. I tried it for a minute.
No.
No.
This didn't work out. Okay, well, I mean, I hope that it all works out
Me
as far as
too.
your 100 dates. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
find a soulmate,
Maybe.
soulmate, one of your many soulmates.
Maybe
There you go.
maybe he's watching right now.
Maybe if you're watching, please don't be a fucking perv.
Don't be a pervert.
Jeez, guys, really?
Yeah,
Come
don't
on,
don't be a
man.
pervert. But you can snap me if you have funny snaps to share. But I don't want to see your dick ever.
How about that? Just be
I mean, maybe
smart
not
and
ever,
funny.
but like not on Snapchat.
Yeah, it's not a
Not on
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Can they follow you on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram and Snapchat are the same handle, West of Sara.
West of Sara.
Check it out. I do live Snap / Instagram story my entire life. So if you want to know what I do on a daily basis, you can follow me there.
It's awesome. It's wildly entertaining. I
Yeah,
always make sure
so
to turn my
entertaining.
volume up.
Yeah, definitely volume on. You're gonna get some rants. You're gonna get some funny jokes, some like ironic, tragedy that happened to me. Yeah,
You're gonna get all of it.
all of it, and then some.
So just be ready.
Be ready.
Be ready for that. Awesome. Thank you for being on.
Yeah,
this has been a lot of fun.
was a lot of fun. I didn't know what to
Yeah.
expect, but this was like
No,
a
I mean,
really-
you got to talk about yourself.
I hope I like didn't share only the creepy things about myself, which I feel like those came out, but like
I
maybe
think
some of the
it-
good too.
No,
Speaking of that,
what? Yeah.
Lady Luthien said define perv.
Oh God.
Define perv.
If you have to have it defined, you're a perv. That's my answer.
No, it was a sarcastic ask.
Yeah.
Lady Lucian, yeah, define perv. There's a lot of pervs out there, man.
There are
Yeah,
a
I feel like
lot of
there's
pervs.
like a whole umbrella's worth of different kinds of pervs.
Yeah, you know it when you see it.
Yeah, you know, and you see. Hopefully, you don't have to see it.
Hopefully, you don't have to see it.
Yeah. Just don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
If you think that it might creep somebody out, don't do
Probably.
Don't do it.
it. Just don't do it.
Yeah,
If you f-
simple.
Yeah.
Or like ask permission, maybe. I
Hey,
don't
can
know.
I send you this dick pic?
Or like read the vibe some way. Like I don't want to be accosted by whatever. It is what it is. Everyone's different. There are people out there that like it. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
the whole like culture of dick pics exists because there are people that like get positive feedback from sending dick pics.
Totally.
If every guy that sent a picture of his, man part to someone,
Junk.
was met with either immediate ghosting or
Here's the thing. I don't think that a guy ever is gonna be
repulsion.
gotten like, "Hey, that's really nice."
I know, right?
well, they
I
they
really
must,
wanted
what's
that.
the
they must be
response?
getting some positive
I think
feedback
it's
in some
just
way.
something just inside the guy's head is just like
They
this
must
is a
like
good
this.
Everyone
idea.
wants to see this.
I like seeing boobs, therefore they are the same.
No,
Right.
not
We're
the
all
same.
human
Not the
beings.
same.
Nope.
I would rather see boobs than a dick any day.
Totally.
So
Hands
just
down.
send them a boob, a tit pic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tit
Yeah.
pics welcome.
testicles.
Totally.
Actually, I
Maybe
take that
not.
back.
Maybe
I
not.
don't want to be on air saying that. I take that back.
Take it back. Well, unfortunately, we're live.
Wah, wah.
Wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah. But follow me on Land of Enlightenment podcast or just Land of Enlightenment on Instagram. Que guay el Oscar. I think it's up here, right? Is it still up here? On Instagram as well.
That's how you pronounce it. I always
Keguay.
wondered.
Q-U, yeah, it's not Keguay, it's Keguay, Queguay _ El Oscar, ELOSKAR.
Ah.
Spelled with a K because I'm edgy.
Yeah, so edgy.
And follow me on Instagram with that. A handle on Twitter is OscarIn Duran. So if you want to get at me on there. We also have a Facebook page, Land of Enlightenment Podcast, and Land of Enlightenment Podcast @gmail.com. if you're interested in sending emails, feedback, or whatever. Do you have anything else as far as social media goes? Do you have like a page?
No, unfortunately, I truly am just a little dork who does not like to be the center of attention, so I have no pages.
Okay, good.
Bring
good.
it all back.
Okay, you're not really a Leo, but you're kind of a Leo.
Kind
but
of,
nah,
yeah,
you're a Virgo.
Leave me alone.
Leave her alone. If you like cats and plants,
Yeah,
Follow
cats
her.
and plants.
Cats and plants.
I'm a plant lady, not a cat
So
lady.
you need a
Plants all the way.
blog called Cats and Plants. There you go.
Plants, yeah.
You should. Yeah. Do you have a blog?
I do, but I keep it secret. It's
All
an
right.
anonymous blog.
All right. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
All
Say
right,
bye.
cool. Thank you guys for
Thanks
watching.
Thanks again for being on. Bye.
We're